Hello, it's another wonderful evening, and this live from our news hub at Adisawe, Kanda in Accra. This is News at 10. We're also live on our Facebook page and streaming on the internet at 3news.com. Let's start with today's major news highlights. A planned demonstration by aggrieved members of the Concerned Drivers Association was abruptly called off by the Accra Regional Police Command. Key among the grievances for Tuesday morning's intended demonstration include the displeasure with the periodic hikes in fuel prices and the new smart driver's license. Human waste by residents of the Greater Accra region will in a few weeks' time be turned into fertilizer for crops. That's the focus of Sewage Systems Ghana Limited, the company managing Accra's human waste. And President Akufo-Addo has promised to ensure the even distribution of state resources to promote development. The President was speaking to the Standing Committee of the Upper West Regional House of Chiefs, who called on him at the Flagstaff House. And drivers will from tomorrow receive a new smart driver's license and smart vehicle registration cards. The new initiatives rolled out by DVLA will eliminate the work of Goro boys and reduce turnaround time to register. Vice President Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia has directed the DVLA to, within 2 weeks, issue the new cards to drivers. Those were our major news highlights. Remember, we're live on 3FM 92.7 and around the world. We're streaming on our Facebook page and on 3news.com. Up next is the big one. Welcome back. Now, the suspended New Patriotic Party General Secretary Kwabena Agyapong has sued the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the party, Bernard Ntwi Bosiako, over alleged defamatory comments. According to the suit, Kwabena Agyapong is seeking an order compelling Bernard Ntwi Bosiako, also known as Chairman Wontumi, to immediately retract the defamatory statement by the same medium used in making them. He is also to render an unqualified apology to the plaintiff, Kwabena Agyapong. Mr. Agyapong is also asking the court to compel the first defendant to pay an amount of 400,000 Ghana cedis as punitive and exemplary damages. The comments were made through Insura FM, a subsidiary of the Multimedia Group, which is being sued as the second defendant. And members of the Ada East District Assembly, in response to the declaration of Sarah Pobi as their new district chief executive, have, in a petition to the presidency, disputed her with her win, describing it as fraudulent and condemnable, and have demanded that she is not to be sworn in. The petition, signed by 17 members of the assembly, which is about 47% of them, stated that some occurrences before and during the election and confirmation made Sarah Pobi's victory questionable, and therefore are strongly protesting it, adding that they, as a body, were ready to take measures necessary to ensure that the electoral laws and processes are not taken for granted. Sarah Pobi was President Akufo-Addo's nominee for the district chief executive position for the Ada East District Assembly in the Greater Accra region. Prior to the election on November 3, she failed on 2 occasions to win the acceptance of the assembly members, where her previous attempt on October 25th gave only 19 out of 36 votes, representing 52%, while the requirement was to gain 2/3 of the total votes cast. Right, let's get onto the telephone lines and speak with an assembly member. Simon Arthur is a presiding member for the Ada East District Assembly. Joins us now. Good evening, sir. Thank you. We're happy that you could join us. So can you confirm to us whether the DC has been sworn into office yet? Hello, sir.
I cannot for a fact.
Yeah, if you can hear me. Hello, sir.
Pardon? Hello?
Yeah, good. I'm asking if you can confirm whether or not the DC has been sworn into office.
I wasn't present at her swearing in, so I cannot for a fact say that she has been confirmed or sworn into office. Since I wasn't there, I cannot attest to that fact. But I was only hearing on air that she has been sworn into office.
Interesting. So, seeing that she has been sworn in, although you can't give us a substantive confirmation, how will the relationship between assembly members and herself be? I mean, considering now that the assembly members have petitioned the president to get her removed.
Yes, as far as the assembly members are concerned, 17 of us are concerned. We are of the view that we have not voted yes for her, and therefore her declaration by the electoral officer as the winner of the said event, the said election, that was marred by assault and violence, was completely fraudulent, condemnable, and unacceptable, because 70 of us are of the view, or we have even signed a petition to the president that we have not voted yes for her. So we cannot understand how she got the number that the electoral officer mentioned.
So what it means is that you were not expecting her to win, and she won, and you're not happy. But really, considering that she's sworn in already, won't you say your petition is coming in a bit too late?
Not too late. Not too late, because the petition comes at the right time. In fact, it was sent yesterday, and it was sent after the event. Earlier, we wrote a letter of appeal to the Minister of Local Government that we are not going to confirm her, and therefore they should change her. But they have not paid heed to our appeal, and they brought her, and then we voted against her. That was the 25th of October. And she had 19 as against 17, no. 19 years as against 17, no. And seeing the danger that for her second appearance, because our act says that if you have gotten more than 50% but failed to pull the two-third as required by the Constitution, then you must be given another 10 days to reappear for a final voting to be done on you. And seeing that she cannot get that, is where she decided to use every 4 means to win the election. And that was exactly what happened on the day in which was videoed and is now circulating on the social media.
Right. So tell me, I mean, she has been sworn in. That's the whole reality. So you're actually coming in at a point where she's already the DC. Tell me to what extent you will be willing or you are determined to keep pushing for her removal.
As far as we are concerned, we are not going to the assembly. We are law-abiding assemblymen, and the 17 of us believe that we have not voted for her, and therefore her being in office is purely illegal, is purely unacceptable. She didn't win the election, and therefore we can't understand why somebody who didn't win an election, we should work with her.
So let me understand. Maybe I should put it this way. Now that she has been sworn in, while your petition is pending, are you going to allow her to work?
I am saying that we cannot use forceful means to eject her from the office.
You're not answering my question, sir.
You know, the president has the power to revoke her appointment if he feels that the circumstances leading to her confirmation is not transparent, is fraudulent, is condemnable. The president has the power to withdraw her.
So you're telling me that
Article 249 of the Constitution.
So you're telling me that since you are using legal,
that is why we are waiting to the president and the members of Council of State appealing that This will be set aside to be withdrawn. If possible, we can reconduct press election to see whether she'll win.
So, in the meantime, you're going to allow her to work?
I am saying that we cannot use forceful means. We can use the court system. And if the court says it should work, then that is the court.
Right. Mr. Simon Arthur, we're grateful for your time. Thank you very much. Simon Arthur is a presiding member for the Ada East District Assembly. This is News at 10. We're live from the News Hub at Adesawe Kanda. And if you are tuned in to 3FM 92.7, you can also hear us. We have more news for you. Please don't go away. Welcome back. This is still News at 10. Commercial drivers who load passengers from Atomic Junction's gas explosion site will no longer conduct business from the area. This has come on the heels of recommendations by the La Nkwantanang Assembly to government after the gas explosion. Meanwhile, traders have started mounting their ware at the site for commencement of business. My colleague Komla Kluche has the following report.
Deserted. That's what describes the mood here at the Atomic Junction explosion site. With investigative officers done with their work, debris from the explosion will remain here for months. Total, one of the filling stations affected has siphoned all of its fuel underground.
Based on the recommendations, decisions will be taken to avoid the recurrence of such situations.
Chuku, a Nigerian trader who sold phone accessories around the bridge, was a victim of the explosion. After weeks of being in the hospital, he returns to the site and contemplates doing business there despite being gripped with fear.
Whenever I remember, I feel that God is with me, and really it wasn't an easy incident.
Sister Afi, as she wants to be called, battles with NADMO officials who want her to relocate west as the area where she conducts business has been cordoned off. NADMO says he has set up a permanent office at the site and will ensure drivers no longer operate from the area.
They themselves know that they are not coming here again. So we are looking for a nice place for them and we are working on it.
1 month on, the Ghana National Fire Service says it owes the public no obligation to make public report of the disaster.
Yes, we have given the cause, but what would the cause of that thing, if I should tell you it is this source of heat that has caused that? What indicative information would that be given? But people should know that in case of disaster, in case of explosion, in case of fires, people should, if you don't have any business, you don't have to move in there.
With the fire service remaining tight-lipped on the report, disaster meanwhile looms at the same site.
Just across the street is the disaster area or the disaster zone. The place has been cordoned off to some extent, but most of the traders have not been deterred. Then across the street at the side, you can see that a lot of them are picking up with the businesses. Recalcitrant they may look, they are still bent on doing the businesses around it despite being caught up in that huge explosion that claimed some lives exactly a month ago when Atomic Junction gas explosion had occurred. Komla Kluche, TV3 News, Accra.
And the Bureau of Public Safety is demanding the fire service to publish findings of the fire accident. The fire service has lately come under fire for its inability to make public these findings of fire reports. He spoke earlier, Mr. Kwada, Nana Kwada spoke earlier on News 360.
Are we really serious about safety, or we appear to be serious anytime there is a disaster? That's when you have us running around and trying to do what should have been done to prevent it.
I have mostly refused to give blunt answers to issues of safety, but on this score, that as a state we've not demonstrated enough commitment to ensuring that issues like this do not recur. The full reports of such investigations must be made available for the public. The full report must be made available so that we can consume those reports, get to know which institutions is doing us in and which is not doing us in. I made reference earlier on in the day on your radio network that when you look at the 2015 ministerial report on the June 3rd incident, among the recommendations that were made was to strengthen the legal department of, if you like, the AMA, and also to sanction officers who, as it were, approve for buildings to be sited at waterways and other unapproved places. This recommendation in particular should not be coming 2 or so years after Melcom. This recommendation should have been put in the Melcom accident investigation report. So right. If it is coming back 2015, because the Melcom incident largely centered on AMA, it largely centered on AMA and its activities. So I will be surprised that this recommendation will not be in the Melcom report.
On the planned demonstration by aggrieved members of a concerned drivers association was abruptly called off by the Accra Regional Police Command. Key among grievances for Tuesday morning's intended demonstration include their displeasure with the periodic hikes in fuel prices as well as the new smart driver's license. Stanley Ni-Bleo's report.
You have the freedom to walk, demonstrate, carry your placard. Police have no trouble with you. But to go by vehicle, by what you term vehicular demonstration, that level, that magnitude that you're calling for, it will never happen today or tomorrow.
The drivers intended to drive vehicles in town to register their displeasure over the periodic increase in fuel prices and the charge for the new smart vehicle license introduced by the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority. More than 30 police officers were deployed from the Accra Regional Command to the scene. According to the police, the planned demonstration would have inconvenienced commuters.
The vehicle that they say we can use to harm others, we are not going to use vehicle, or we are not going to drive it as they think. We will drive to where the fuel gets short. When the fuel gets short, from there we will push it to our final destination where we are going to present our grievances to them, the authorities' matters.
Director of Operations at the Accra Regional Police Command, Chief Superintendent Wesifori, wants leadership of the concerned drivers to rescind their decision to demonstrate.
In the interest of public security, public good, and public order, that mode of demonstration is not permitted. It is the mode that have brought the disagreement.
The drivers have meanwhile rescheduled the date for the intended demonstration.
Some members of Parliament have expressed displeasure about their inability to use the Parliament's East Gate when they were resuming sitting on Tuesday morning because it was closed. Member of Parliament for Awering Matthias Kwame Into, who raised this on the floor of Parliament, said it was inappropriate for the MPs not to be informed before the closure.
The Western Gate is the main entrance to the premises of the Parliament House, where the MPs, other staff and the general public use. On Tuesday, November 7, the gate was blocked to all users, with the security redirecting users to an alternative route. Member of Parliament for Win Matters Kwame Into said he was told a movie production house had rented part of the premises when he inquired about the closure of the gate.
Imagine the Speaker is entering and the road will be blocked. I don't know, Mr. Speaker, what might happen to you, your good self, and the rest of your members. That is why I'm raising this concern this morning. So, Mr. Speaker, I hope the chair will take a very serious look at this event.
MP for New Joab in South Makasibe Yabua argued the Member of Parliament should have used the right channel in addressing the issue by resorting to the order paper.
Having gone through correction of votes and proceedings, Mr. Speaker, next on the order paper would have been questions, following which statements, and then L, if even he had complaints of contempt of Parliament, which is not what he's doing. All of us have been directed to use the main thing, but we have to use the proper forum to raise contempt.
The matter was allowed to continue, giving the Member of Parliament for Asawase, Mohamed Mubara Muntaka, the opportunity to question why the premises is continuously used for other social gatherings, such as funerals, which he indicated could be a security threat.
You come and then all of a sudden, there are so many strangers around, obviously, because we represent people. When people come for funerals or other activities, they take the opportunity to come around to look for MPs, and you meet them in lifts, odd places.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osewusu, assured members the concerns raised will be addressed appropriately.
And to come back to the leaders and the whips in particular, you should take the matter up with the state protocol. Once we've been permitted to use here, there should be regular communication when anything will be done that will interfere with our free access.
Checks by TV3 confirmed that a movie production house from the United Kingdom had rented part of the premises, including the open space.
And still in Parliament, the minority is accusing government of relocating the campus of the University of Environment and Sustainable Development from Somanya to Bonsu in the Eastern Region. Godfrey Tanam reports the minority insisted the Minister of Education should answer when the contract for the construction was awarded.
The Member of Parliament for Eurocroba, Magnus Kofi Amote, asked the Minister of Education when construction works will begin on the Somanya campus of the University of Environment and Sustainable Development. The Minister told the House although the contract has been awarded, contractors are yet to go to site.
It is estimated that the main works to be undertaken by Master's Contractor, the foreign contractor who signed the commercial and financial agreement with government, should start by December 2017 and will be completed in 24 months.
Minority, not satisfied with the answer, wanted the minister to provide further details on whether there was a contract between the government of Ghana and the South Koreans.
The Ministry of Finance at the time only negotiated the loan agreement between the South Koreans and that of that of government of Ghana. At the time, it was just a framework agreement, and it is not a contract and cannot be interpreted as such.
Henry was at the Ministry of Finance and he was negotiating a loan agreement which he claims he signed. Mr. Speaker, that loan agreement was not being signed for the sky. It was signed in lieu of a contract, in lieu of a government undergoing a certain project. And that project, he knows. That loan agreement, my good friend, initial, Mr. Speaker, was for a project. And that project was the construction, he knows, of his Minister of Finance hometown's government project, Somanya.
But former Deputy Minister for Education Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa told journalists that government deliberately relocated the campus of the University of Environment and Sustainable Development from Somanya to Bonsu.
Does a Minister of Education, does a government have the power to review a decision that has gone through cabinet, gone through a previous parliament? Do they have the power to review the decisions of Parliament unilaterally without coming to Parliament for parliamentary amendment? And why have they carried out those amendments? Why are they saying that the people of Afram Plains, Donkokrom, do not deserve a campus of the University of Environment and Sustainable Development, and they are relocating it to Bonso in Chebi? Why are they doing that? We deserve answers.
Meanwhile, MP for Binduri, Dr. Robert Babakuga-Nablem, wanted further particulars on when government will begin the implementation of the Cabinet's decision to split the University of Development Studies into 3 autonomous universities. This generated into a heated debate.
Approval for conversion of the 3 universities into autonomous institutions was given in 4th January 2017. 4th January 2017. However, following the change in administration and in line with the enactment process, a fresh policy approval will be submitted to Cabinet for consideration and onward submission of the bills, if necessary, through the Attorney General's Department to Parliament.
You should be able to tell this House whether that proposal by the old Cabinet is something that will be implemented by this new government or not.
I cannot second-guess Parliament, and Parliament is not a rubber stamp. Once approvals come and the bills are submitted to Parliament, it is for Parliament to decide to pass that bill into legislation or not.
That's how we wrap up with News at 10. Thank you very much for your time. I'm Stephen Enti. On behalf of the rest of the crew, good night. There is more news at 3news.com.